Whoop, whoop, whoop. No.
We are ready. We are ready. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Cyrus, and I am with Zara Camp, my co-host and co-pilot. We're here to talk about um, sales and the sales issues and the problems that people are experiencing. Because sometimes people send me a message and say, "Oh, how can I solve my sales problems?" Because everything that we do is to sell more and make more money in our business, so we can help our business survive. So, um, so first, I'm gonna let Zara introduce herself. Go on, Zara.
What is that noise? Wow.
Zara
Okay.
Camp.
You've been playing around with that thing, haven't you? The noises. Hi,
Yeah.
guys. I am Zara Camp, and I am from zarapod.com, as well as from Real Talk Reclaimed. I wanted to share a thank you to everyone who takes the time to come and listen to things that are beneficial. I know there's a lot of lives out there, and the lives are slightly a bit different to what appears on my wall, I guess. But this live is about making sure that you're educated enough to understand where you are, what you need to do, and where you need to go. Like I told you guys, in 3 weeks, I have ran miles. Before I was crawling, now I'm running. So, yes, I'm Zara Camp, and I am a podcast host, a producer now. I make music. What else do I do? I
Zarapod.
create content.
Zarapod.
Yeah, Zarapod. I'm under the umbrella. Zarapod is my mother. I am the child.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Zara. So we will get help from Zara explaining the 10 reasons sales are low and how podcasting fixes them. Without any further ado, let's dive right in and find out what is going on in the sales land, right? So um, always remember, if they're not buying it from you, where are they getting it from? They're not. They are getting it from somewhere else, right? So we want you to be the place, and we want to be that somewhere, and we want to be also the somewhere else. So if you do the job right, people will realize, and then they will buy from you, right? Um, the first item that we're going to be talking about out of the 10 reasons sales are low: no awareness. You are invisible. So people don't know you exist. A podcast, how can a podcast help resolve that issue? A podcast makes your brand discoverable, builds presence, puts you on the map, really, and keeps you on top of people's mind on a weekly basis. If it's weekly, if it's daily, even better. The point is to keep um, to exist on people's mind on a regular basis, right? Out of sight, out of mind, right? So, Zara, since you went on Spotify, have you noticed any change in your business and any number of change in the number of inquiries you've been receiving online? Any positive or negative
It's
changes in your business?
it's been a lot more positive because since I started using Adobe Audition and I've started like clearing up my sound and I've started learning about the things that I need to do. Yes, the number of inquiries have increased, and they've increased because I made little changes and little differences.
What
Today I
changes? What
interviewed.
have you changed? What did you
What
change
have
in
I
the business?
changed?
That mm,
Exactly. The logo in the background. The focus is
yeah,
me now, moving closer to the mic,
yes, more
understanding that,
presence.
yeah,
Mm,
it's more presence because there are things that I did before that I didn't know that I'm doing now because I was told this is what needs to happen. So I think the way that you raise awareness, the changes that I've seen is this. I have 3 more countries that have been added on. I'm proud of myself. 3 more countries. But do you know what countries they are? Cyrus? China is after me now. China.
Oh yes,
Imagine that. And I was
that's
like
amazing.
thinking, so there was what, like the analytics have completely just gone off the wall. This is the
Yeah.
thing with Spotify. There are particular times you have to post. Same with Apple. There's like caps between 11 to 2, 4 to
Mm,
6,
yeah.
and then there is 8 to 2, right? And because
Yeah.
I post 40 minutes before those times, it's pushing out that content
Yeah.
to, regardless of your time zone. It's the algorithm.
Mm,
As long as you
yeah.
understand the algorithm, you understand when to post and what to post. So
Well,
I've noticed.
let's not forget, algorithm shouldn't be your main focus, right?
No, it's not.
You and your customers and your clients should be your main focus. Algorithm helps you extend your reach. Yes, I totally agree with you from that point
Yes,
of view.
but it's the
However,
quality.
um, however, um, subjecting yourself to analysis paralysis is not a good idea, because I know friends who sit down in front of the monitor for hours on end, wondering, oh, I wish I had like 2,000 instead of 1,000 followers, or I wish I had 100,000 instead of 50,000. Listen, I know friends also who have a lot of followers, millions of followers, but no sales, right? Um, what is it they are following? That's the main thing.
Mm,
They follow you, but where do they make the purchases? Because if that
mm.
million followers you have on Instagram, they were really and truly your followers, you would be a billionaire. You wouldn't be sat
Yes.
in front. You wouldn't be sat in front of your camera dancing on TikTok, right? So that is that is the thing. So sometimes the follower's presence, right, impresses you. But the question is your presence impressing your followers? That's the thing, right? So you need to impress them. You need to help them. The product that you're creating, is it helpful really, or is it just I don't know, a waste of time or energy?
Mm,
So once people realize a product is a waste of time or energy or money, they will never ever consider attempting to buy it from you, right? So as an example, I like Zara's headphones. Are they Beats or what are they?
we're ruling
What are they?
beats. They're beats.
Are they Beats? Yeah. Okay. So there you
Yes.
go. So I liked it. I asked her, and she mentioned it. Now, for
Mm,
as long as this show is online, people will come to the show and watch this moment. Okay. So I asked a
mm,
question. She answered it, and she
okay.
answered it in a proud way. Okay.
Mm,
So that is, she just issued some sort of she just emanated some sort of positive vibration, right? That's really important, um, to be surrounded with that kind of vibration if you're selling a product or service. So no awareness, please do not worry. A podcast can be the solution. You can talk to someone like Zara and say, can you include my product in your shows? Okay, the answer is always definitely, maybe. So so
how much?
because no, because the product needs to be helpful and should be solving a problem. These are the conditions. So next one is, so anyway,
Mm,
if you're moaning about no awareness and you don't have a podcast, don't come to me, okay? Go to
mm.
Zara, I don't know. Don't come to
What do you mean
me.
come to me? Don't come to me either. I'm not dealing with
So
that.
you
What?
can't, no, honestly, you cannot be moaning about no sales, right? No, honestly, you can't be moaning about no sales and have no channel or no podcast or no presence, no attempt at having some sort of presence, right? um so the next one is um the
Sorry, guys.
next,
No, yeah, this is the thing that Cyrus, one of our clients, was talking about today. And she was like, well, I'm on LinkedIn. I said to her, so how many followers do you have? She's like, I have roughly around 3,000 people. I said to her, so what do you do? She's like, I talk to people all day because I want to find a job. The problem is when you have low sales and you are not going into someone's DM or into their inbox and saying, hi, can I have a discovery call? Can I connect with you? Can I speak to you about what I do? Because you're too afraid. You don't have to be afraid to enter into someone's DMs and say, hi, I'm so and so. Let's book a discovery call. Because the amount of things that Cyrus and we get messages from people who say, well, I have this service and it's stuck. I'm stuck. It's low sales. What do I do? Start a podcast. Start a podcast. The amount of people that have come back to me and said, I wish I had a podcast because then I can, sponsor or I can sell what I need. Because I genuinely think podcasting, Cyrus, is the window to a shopping center, the window that you have when you
Absolutely.
walk
Yeah.
into a shopping center. It is
Mm.
because it's not just like you can promote, because people who podcast understand that they are going to see a particular thing of quality and they're not just doom scrolling. Today I spoke a lot about the episode I had before I came on here. When you have a podcast, you have a platform that is kind of like owning your own plot in a shopping center, in a precinct. You have your own spot. You can have 10 different products. You can sell 20 products. Whatever you choose to display is completely up to you. It's not up to the market. This is your brand. This is your shop. Just like I'm Zara. By the way, Cyrus, I used to model for Zara when I was younger, right? That was like
Oh,
really weird.
nice.
So imagine like being called saying, "Oh, Zara, it's your turn to come up," and I'm thinking, "Wait, what?" So imagine if I go to a shop and I see things that say Zara's man, I think, "Oh, so everyone must be my man, right?" But imagine, for example, that brand captures a particular type of quality that
Mm.
is a particular type of way. And I think it's very important to understand that when you build that sales, when you build that trust with people and you become vulnerable and you think, okay, so I am the brand, this is my podcast. Whoever I bring on will make sure that I showcase how strong I am. You become selective. Podcasting is selectivity. It is selectivity. That's what I wanted to say. There you go. I've said enough now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Ah,
Thank you so
did
much,
you say
Sarah.
thanks?
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, thank you. So, um, number two, out of the 10 reasons um, sales are low, weak trust. So, um, sometimes people ask me, why don't people respect my brand? And
Mm,
my answer is, do they know you? If they don't know you, they won't. If they can't trust you, they won't
mm,
respect you, right?
mhm.
So first they need to know you. They need to trust you. When they
Yes.
can trust you, then they can respect you, right? So respect is a process, and respect is earned, right? It's not given; it's earned. So it's like your wages. You turn up on time at work. Your employee understands you are getting something done. You pushing the business forward, and they pay you a wage at the end of the month. Okay, so low sales often mean low trust. A podcast lets you show expertise, share stories, and prove credibility
Mm,
until listeners see you as the go-to person, business, service, product, right? So you need to spend time, a little bit of time with your audience, right? So you need to let them know, I'm here for you. I'm answering your questions. I'm solving your problems. I understand your problems, and then I'm solving your problems, right? And I know how to get you to what you want or where you want to get to, right? So that's the top and bottom of it, really. And so weak trust. That's number two. Number three, poor customer connection. So, oh, you can't hear me now.
Yeah, you're sat in the sea. You made a very good point, but you were sat in the sea.
Oh yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's just it's very in the sea.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It sounds like you're a robot, like ET. You know, from Back in the Future, or is that a different film altogether? No, you were making a
Can you hear me
very
better now?
no,
No.
no, no,
Can you
so,
not hear me now?
no,
No. Is it better now?
no.
No.
I can't even do the tone of it.
No.
No.
Okay, so let's see what else we can do about it. Um,
Now it's better. No.
is it better now?
Yes, please. Yes. I
Yes.
mean, thank you, not please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So the next point we want to bring to your attention, guys, is poor customer connection. First of all, is your a brand a cold brand or is it not a cold one? Right? A cold brand has poor customer connection. Okay, so it's not connected. It's like a heater that is not connected to the electricity source. Right? So cold brands don't sell. Podcasts create intimacy, and your voice in their ears builds emotional bonds that turns listeners into loyal buyers. What does it mean, loyal? Loyal means they purchase the product, either come back. No, sorry, they purchase the product, they come back, and if the level of loyalty is really high, they recommend it to other people as well, right? So because loyalty has levels. So poor customer connection means no selling. So if your brand can't sell, that means you do not understand the needs of the market, or you haven't showed the market that you understand their needs. So it's one of the two, right? So you either don't understand the people you're selling to and their needs, or you understand their needs, but you've failed to let them know, guys, I understand your need. I know how you feel. Okay, come to me and I'll help you. Right? So sometimes it's not enough to tell your partner. Sometimes it's not enough to think that, oh, I really love my partner. Really love my wife or husband. You have to tell them, right? So it is something. So love is like you have to profess that love, right? You have to let them know you love them or how you feel about them, and let them know why you appreciate them. So it's like a daily ritual, right? People who let their customers know how their customers feel, they're more successful at sales, right? So the purpose of, I mean, in our system and in mine and Zara's, in our system, um, the reason you have a podcast is to be able to sell the product to a warm market. Okay, so that warms up the market because of that intimacy. Okay, because of that intimacy, I am talking to you guys. You can hear me, right? You can communicate with me. I can communicate with you through through the medium of the platforms that we are using. So at the same time, we are on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Hello, YouTube people. Hello, people on LinkedIn, and hi, people on Facebook. So uh, the the better you understand your market, the warmer they will feel towards you, and the other way around, right? So number 4 out of the 10 reasons why sales can be low. No clear story. Before the live event started, I had a conversation with Zara about people who say, "Oh, I don't have a story." Well, how is that even possible? Um, well, I was born. Um, where were you born? Well, I was born in a hospital. Well, maybe that's not a really exciting story. Almost everyone's born there. So, um, so you can add some spice. You can spice it up, right? And say I was born in such and such town, and that it's a historical town, and there's like, I don't know, 5 million people live there. I'm one of those, right? Or 10 million people live there, and such footballer is from that town. Just create it. If you feel you don't have a story around your brand, you can say, like, I have a brand. Um, it's a charger, and um, it's like the Argentine flag, right? So it's a charger with the Argentine
Argentina.
flag. No, it's Chargentina. So
Oh,
it's a
okay.
charger. Yeah, so you have to. So that's his story, right? Oh, Lionel Messi's from that country, right? Oh yeah, that's brilliant. And I don't know, whatever else from Argentina, you can mention that, right? So you have to have some sort of origin story. So if customers can't connect, they won't
Mm.
buy. That's a fact, right? So podcasts help you craft and share your brand story in a way ads can't, giving meaning to your product. So you have to add meaning. People are search of meaning. Okay, they always, oh, so what's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of your name? You've heard that before. What's the meaning of your name? What does it mean? Right? So what does this word mean in that language? Because people are always trying to figure things out. That's because the brain is a pattern recognition machine. Okay, so people's brains are always trying to figure things out around them. Okay, that people are nosy. Okay, that's the way we are. We are curious. That's
Curious, not nosy,
yeah.
curious. People are curious.
No, 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 no. Nosy, not in a negative way. Okay. Well, negative or positive, it exists. There are people who are nosy, right? Uh, Personally speaking, yes, I am very inquisitive and nosy in my environment. I try to figure things out, understand things, connect things to each other, right? Um, Connect my devices, create new visuals, use better visuals to connect with better with people. I am curious because curiosity helps me communicate better, find um, more innovative ways of communicating. Now, regarding origin stories, you have Zara, you have what's it called?
An origin story.
With love from, yeah, with
With
love
love
from,
from
no, from
Darfur.
Darth. Yes, that one. What was it again?
From With love from Darfur is about how I was born in a
Or is
hut.
it from Darfur with love?
From Darfur with love, yes. So I was born
Yes,
in
that's
an
the one.
area that, and this is how I connect with people. The majority of people who connect with me are Africans, you know, or Arabs, because I'm nomadic before I am African, because I speak Arabic and my culture is Arabic. And the way that I live my life is not like an African, but like an Arab.
Mhm.
But I happen to be born in Africa in a tribe that is nomadic. And when Africans hear that I was born in a hut in Darfur, they think, wow, you've walked far. But I don't think I really did. It's what
Did you tell them
from.
you took? Did you tell them you took the airplane? You didn't walk all the way to England.
Wait, I came, the first trip I had, I tell them this. The first trip I had was from Sudan to Egypt and then from Egypt to England. But I tell them that I was born with privilege in my gut. I did not learn privilege from seeing things. When you have privilege within you, when you feel your privilege and your worth is within you, it doesn't matter what color passport you hold. What matters is how you value, how you think. And a lot of people value that. People approach me now and say to me, "So you were born in a hut. Why do you speak English this way?" And I think, where do I begin? Where can I begin and tell you the story of why I speak the way that I do? Because when, for example, my mother has an accent when she speaks, Cyrus, and she tells her story. And when people speak to us, sometimes they use an accent that she is very uncomfortable with because they try and imitate her accent. You know, when you are yourself and you're speaking to someone who you value, you do not need to reduce them because of their accent. You need to understand they have another language in their head. So when you're talking about no clear story, every single individual has a very clear story. I get annoyed with people who say to my mother things in her own accent because at the end of the day, my father is very white and he was a peace negotiator. Without clarity, you have no existence. Like, genuinely. I know it's a bad way to see it, but if your brand does not have clarity and you cannot bring a clear story and you cannot connect, the difficulty is there. People buy from you because you have the story. Africans come to me because I was born in a hut. I eat Sudanese food. I love my okra. I love my plantain. I know who I am because I'm two things, not just one. And when you when people hear you for your authenticity, they're going to connect. They will connect. So,
Absolutely.
hi,
Thank you.
Sudan, Darfur. There's
What
more there,
else?
by the way.
No, no,
What else?
there's more. So it's Hi Sudan. What else?
What, the
What other
Viking side
countries?
of me? What should I
Oh
talk
yeah,
about? The Viking side?
yeah.
The ginger man. No, because there's two Cyrus. There's two sides to every coin, right?
Yeah,
And everyone has that. The reason that I choose to use both of my parents to describe who I am, because I genuinely think without the heart of my mother and the brain of my father, my coin would not flip. When you think of branding, branding is this: you have to have your story and your purpose. Your story sometimes flips, your purpose sometimes flips. It has to be that way because if it's not, you can't connect to your customers. There's always going to
absolutely.
be someone who likes the, I wouldn't say ideology. You know, I studied
Yeah.
politics, so ideology is very fixated. But the Viking side of me says conquer and divide, and the nomadic side of me says gather and love. So I have those two coins that I
So you
constantly
you have to
flip.
create that kind of balance between the two, don't you? So
Yeah.
can you see, guys? Can you see if you want to talk about the origin of a product? Okay, you can do the exact same things that Zara just did now, right? And only about the product or the service, right? So we started from one office, right? So that's the beginning of the story. People want to find out more. Okay, how many offices have you got now? We still have one office, or we have two offices, right? Or we're working from home now. Just continue the story, because people want to hear a story. A story is what expands people's attention span, right? It expands it, right? The same attention span, which is only 8 seconds, right? It can expand to 2 3 hours, and they sit down and watch Titanic. They even cry at the end, right? They even cry. So I know people who cry at the end of Titanic, right? Um, yeah, there are people who, yeah, you haven't met my sisters then. So they oh that is so upsetting. I was like, yes, it was upsetting because there was enough space for Jack to actually get on that plank of wood as well, but that didn't happen anyway. Yep.
Can I say
So
something? Sorry,
mm,
before you go to the next one. You know what I cried about? SpongeBob SquarePants wanting the secret formula. He got them. I was like, wait, what? Give it to him
oh
so he can
no.
be rich because Patrick needs help.
Sometimes I can't cope with you. Okay, so next one. Next one is okay, so no clear story should not be a problem anymore. Number 5, limited reach. So relying only on ads shrinks reach. Okay, so there are people who spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars, but the adverts, the ads flop. Why is it that their adverts fail? It's simply because they don't understand the sentiments and the pains of the customer, right? So a product solves a problem. Customer watching the ad wants to find out, can this problem be solved? I am in the market now. I'm in the market with my wallet, with my purse. My money is ready. Okay. Tell me how you can help me. I'll give you 8 seconds. That's what basically advertising is all about. Okay. They give you 2, 3 seconds. Um, Scrolling is the same thing. People scroll on and on and on. Sometimes people just do doom scrolling, right? Um, but they don't have the time um, to sit down and read a book. Now, how can you sell them that book? They don't have time. They feel like they don't have time for it, right? So you explain to them what is discussed in that book and what kind of problems it solves. Then they sit down and read that book from cover to cover. I promise you, if you show them, if you show them correctly, and if you help them understand, um, this book will solve your problems. Okay, then they will read it cover to cover, right? How many people do you know who have bought a book, like a self-development book, and they read 5 page, 5 pages from the beginning of the book, right? And then they put it in on the shelf, right? So these people who buy the book but they never finish it, okay, if the advertising was done correctly, they would have finished it, and their problem perhaps would have been solved. So there is a massive responsibility on your shoulders if you're advertising, okay, on podcasts or
I
podvertising, right? So go on.
I think, for example, like I was trying to figure out the guy that wrote the Book of Tao. So the
Mm.
Tao Tai Ching was only written in. So it's like a blue book, right? It's incredible, but it's written in adult language. Do you know
Yeah.
what the publisher did? He split the book into three. He called
Ah.
it the Tower of Pooh, the Tao of Tigger, the Tao of Eeyore, and the Tao of Peter. So the book was divided, but the person that published the book, Cyrus, he published it because he went in time. He read the book. The first book is incredible. But if you cannot read 320 pages, obviously you're going to read about 120 pages. You have to. If you want to understand that nature is you and spirituality is you, and you have to understand you flow with where you are. The flow has to be natural. When you are thinking of limited reach and relying only on ads to shrink reach, think of books that have been broken down into three different sections. Podcast podcasts are like books. You don't have to sit and listen to an hour of it, right? You can listen to 20 minutes of a podcast or 15 minutes of a podcast. Most people drop off at 8. Now I've realized it's 18.23 seconds. And it's only because I'm obsessed with analytics, because I like seeing charts and stuff. But
Yep.
you have to be within the time. Like, I love seeing the charts. But when you talk about limited reach, you have to understand your niche changes within time. It cannot stay the same. Like The Art of War. The Art of War is a beautiful book, but it was written God knows how long ago. And now people have to have it simplified. And like you said earlier on, Cyrus, you said about scrolling. and
Mm.
thinking, oh yeah, my brain only takes 7 seconds. But
Mm.
there are a lot of people who need to understand limited reach depends on who you want to market, who are your audience, who you need to capture. If you want to capture quality, quality is what you need to produce. If you want to capture limited mentality, not limit mentality time of like just people who just scroll like this, then
Yeah.
that's what you're going to do. If you are going to make £1 from a book or 1,000 from a book, what's going to be better for you for the long run? The pound? How many books do you have to sell to reach 1,000? If you sell one book at 1,000 because your book is resonating and
Yeah.
you put it towards that particular quality of person, it's far
Yeah.
better than wasting your time doing one book at a time, selling it to one. And podcasting gives you the opportunity to share your quality. You can be as silly as you want and you can be as smart as you want, and the people will find you. That's point five I've
Absolutely.
made.
Thank you so much. So limited reach can be solved. Start a podcast. By the way, and people who say I'm on my own, I don't know many people actually doing who are willing to do this with me. Don't worry, find someone who thinks like you, right? Find someone who appreciates the way you think. Find someone. There's plenty of them out there. Remember, there's 8 billion of us. The next point I want to bring to your attention is number 7, low engagement. So when a customer comes to me and Zara, what are the first things that we check? What is it? Socials, right? They check their socials. They check if there is any. Yeah, sometimes it's non-existent. You're right, Zara. Sometimes it's non-existent. And I recently asked someone who was in a very, very kind of lucrative industry. I asked them if they are on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, X. That's what we call it now. So, and they said, I think I might be. I was like, oh no, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. So you need to be on all of the platforms where people are. You need to be where people are. Why? Because you want to sell to people, right? So please do not expect people to Google you, right? People do not Google you unless they have a good reason or a bad one. So unless they have a reason, right? So and don't wait for winning the lottery, aka going viral, right? So every once in a while, some people win the lottery. They like win a couple of hundred here, a couple of hundred there. That is not how your life changes, right? So and going viral doesn't necessarily mean your product is going to sell massively. No, they're not synonymous. So podcasts spark conversations. You want people to be talking about your product, right? Do you have a podcast? Yes. So you are doing it right. Well done. Do you have a podcast? No. So you don't talk about your own you don't talk about your own product, or you expect people to be constantly talking about you. That's a big ask, right? That is definitely a big ask. So if you don't talk about the product or service that you love and produce, how do you expect other people to talk about it when they haven't even um, heard about it or they haven't even tried it? How do you expect them to recommend something they haven't seen, right? Make it seen, please. Increase the engagement. Ask questions. Get people to ask questions. Create Q&A, right? Q&A is the best. Podcasts spark conversations, Q&A episodes, and guest collaborations that keep customers interacting with you and interested in you, right? So right now, I am collaborating with Zara. What does that mean for me? That means I am communicating with Zara's friends. What does it mean for Zara? It means Zara is communicating with my friends. in my circle of friends, right? And also, what does it mean for both of us? That means we are communicating with people who haven't met us yet, and they will meet us soon. Remember, all of your friends were strangers at some point. Every single one of them, right? So remember, we're not born with friends; we find them, right? And so number 8, price objections. When someone comes to you and says, "Oh, your product is too expensive," does that mean I can't afford it? Nope. Your product is expensive or too expensive can never mean I can't afford it. That means I cannot justify why you are charging that price, right? So when buyers think you too expensive, a podcast explains the value. So when someone tells you your product is too expensive, that means you have failed to explain it to them, right? Your value proposal is weak, right? So you need to explain to your prospect, future customers, right? You have to explain to them why is it that they need the product and how they will feel after purchasing the product, right? So you don't sell the product, you sell the feeling, in essence, right? So basically, you don't sell the product, you sell the feeling. You don't sell the service, you sell the feeling. So I I know people who say, "Oh, I can't live without my iPhone." I'm like, that's the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. What do you mean you can't live without your iPhone? Then that made me think. I was like, what is it that Apple has done that made someone make such a bold statement, right? So make such a bold comment. When someone says, "Oh, that's the best phone in the world," not necessarily. Well, I've not had any phones other than iPhone myself for the past 15 years, but I have like extra side phones, right? Like Samsung and whatever. So that means iPhone has sold it to me in a way that I find them irreplaceable. When your customers find you irreplaceable, that's when you've hit the jackpot. Okay, it's not when they find you. It's not when they buy you. It's not when they recommend you. No, 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 no. It's when they find you irreplaceable. When they're like, oh, I can't go to anybody else other than Zara. Okay, only Zara understands me. Only Zara um,
Yes.
um, represents me, right? So how do you feel about that, Zara?
I think a lot of our clients who come from the Middle East, like from Dubai, there's a huge client I have currently, and he was just
I love
like,
them. They're so friendly. They're really friendly and lovely. Middle Easterns.
no, but do you know what they do? They're like, "Hello,
Mm,
Habibti," and I'm like, what kind of Habibti is this?" I'm like, "Habibti that needs your money." And the thing
mm,
is like I'm very glad when you think of price objections, you have to
mm,
think of this as a podcaster. You need myself and Cyrus to introduce you to groups of people that you have never ever met. The guy that said that to me today, the reason he said that is because when you understand the lingo of Arabs, and I'm Arab, they like to understand how much sand is in your pocket. Have you heard of that expression before, Cyrus? How much sand
Please
is in your
explain it to I've I've heard it, but explain it to our
What does it mean?
viewers
What do you think
and
it
listeners.
means? What do you think it means? Sand in your pocket.
Money.
Hmm. Depends where you gather your sand from, right? Depends where you gather your sand from. Because, like, imagine this.
Is it
There are
sand? Is it water?
so
Or is it oil?
Exactly. Well done. Let's clap for Cyrus. Let's teach him about Arabic ways. It is, wow. It is that. It is the three. And I work with oil. I don't work with sand. I
Mm,
don't work with
mm,
water. I know
mhm.
where water is because I know where Moses was. I understand the religious context. I understand the
Mm.
cultural context.
The
I
subtext.
I understand it all. But when you think of price objections, I think the only thing, Cyrus, with price objection is how you speak to the customer, how you
Yeah.
approach the customer. If you
Mm.
approach the customer with lingo that they understand because you've been taught, it's kind of like a pitch in sales, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not a pitch that's like, oh, hello, I'm calling you today from Anglia Windows, and you need windows because you're old. It's more like, hi, I am here, you need me, right? And Arabs
Yeah.
love that, just like the Germans do. The directness of who you are and the confidence of who you are translates in every language.
They are so matter of fact, aren't they?
No, they are, because having a
Mm.
client say to you, oh, well, let me go think about Bryce. I come back later. And you're like, later, why? You come back later. Later no exist. Now. Later, Allah take your soul. You know? And I can say that to a client because I speak Arabic. But like, imagine if I take a brand to the people who will watch you. I will use the
Mm.
lingo that they understand. So, you can say to me, well, this is the brand I want to sell. I can say, okay, so tell me exactly what you want to do. I can say to an Arab, I can say, your hair is falling out, uncle. He won't get offended. But if I'm in England and I say, mate, you're a bit boldy, he's going to get annoyed, right? If I say it's a Spanish person, mi tío, tú sabes, tienes un problema. It's three different ways, right? I would rather sell to a man that sells butts than a man who asks me if my pocket is full of sand, because I'll say, which sand is it? You can go on to the 9 point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sarah. So the next one is, so price objection. We already talked about it. And when they say you're too expensive, that means I don't trust you, and yeah, you're not worth my while, and I'm not really sure why I'm talking to you, and I don't trust you. I don't know you. Um, Prove yourself to me. Give me more information. Why should I buy it from you? Uh, but the same person who calls you expensive, they are willing to pay even extra and buy it from their friend. Why? And they're like, oh, I'm going to do my friend a favor and pay more and put some money in my friend's pocket. So loyalty always beats price objection. So please remember that. So be their friend and they will put their money in your pocket. And please always remember, if you give what people want, they will give you what you need. If you give what people want, they will give you what you need. So they want, they want your service, they want your product, and because they want their problem solved, and they will give you their money. Simple as that. You always purchase things like that. I always purchase things like that. Everybody purchases things like that. Um, no authority. That's one of the 10 reasons when the sales are low. If you are seen as an expert, people buy. If you're not seen as an expert, people buy elsewhere. Hosting a podcast positions you as the authority, making your product or service the logical choice. Maybe it's not the logical choice, but in their head, it becomes the logical choice because you are in their head. Just like Zara said, people don't sit down to, not everyone does. Not everyone sits down in one corner to actually listen to a podcast. Yes, sometimes they do, but majority of people, they listen to podcasts when they're driving, on their lunch break, and it's their mind is like a cake. You get a slice of that cake and you're lucky. What do I mean by lucky? I mean, you exist in their head as a figure of authority. If you talk about parenting, you will be that parenting person, right? If you talk about like Zara, if you talk about teaching, you will be that teaching person. You will be that teacher. Okay, um, so always try to position yourself as um, a figure of authority in the industry that you are in.
Mm,
You should be constantly striving to achieve that goal.
mm.
Okay, so maybe you're not the first, maybe you're not the best, but you will be an authority in that line of work. So hosting a podcast positions you as the authority. So if you become an authority, your product will be sold much more easier. How can you be that authority? Create a podcast or be a guest on a podcast. So number 9, no repeat. Oh, by the way, before I say number 9, I just want to thank people who've watched 50 minutes of this show so far patiently, and I am grateful. Thank you. So, no repeat buyers. One-time buyers don't keep you alive. A podcast nurtures loyalty with tips, updates, and stories that bring customers back again and again. Okay, the old way of things is gone. Zara, do you want to add anything to this one? No repeat
Yeah,
buyers.
I was going to say that one of so I normally go to the south. I think it's the south of France. I don't know, but it's like 2 hours away from the airport in a place in France called Mount Lamore, right? And Mount Lamore, there was a lady who was like very into her art, very hippie, very. She left England, and she messaged me today, and she said to me, "How do I bring what I do after leaving England into this light?" And I said to her, "Well, this is the package. This is what you need. This is what you have to understand." I remember the reason that she contacted me is because the first time I arrived, it was like miles away from everywhere. I walked through vineyards. Like imagine, Cyrus, you walk through vineyards and you think, where is my za'atar and my baba ganoush? And like I cook Lebanese, Arabic, Middle Eastern food. There was no spice, no salt, no basil, no nothing. She's like, well, I have a garden full of it. The reason that she contacted me back and asked me about what I'm doing now is because when we respect a business and we buy from a business and we rent an Airbnb and we spend our time deciding it, we keep them alive by recommending them, but we keep them alive by email them, like saying, "How are you? I've not seen you in a year. You know, how are you doing with things? How is life going?" The only reason she got back to me was because she remembered I said to her, "Why do you have a slug on your wall?" And Cyrus, let me tell our listeners this. Her husband said to me, "Oh, you are a hybrid." And I got weirded out by him. Imagine, like, I'm Russian and Sudanese. Imagine someone saying, "You're a hybrid." And you're like, I like his wife, but I don't understand him. It's because I spent time with his wife and I know what her intentions are. I knew what she was doing, I understood everything she was. So when you have the one time buyers that you don't keep alive, or a podcast nurture loyalty with tips as you have done here, there are him. Nah, he's not going to be a repeat buyer. The only reason I went there is because my mother had the natural product and I was trying to sell it. I'm not going to sell it to him. I'll sell it to his wife, because
Yeah.
there's two different people in every collaboration. There's two different people. There's a person who says, "This, I'm not interested in, but I'm interested in you." The second one is this: "I'm interested in your product, your business, your brand. Make me grow." The difference is two. If you want to stay low and think about surface level, you can find, I'm not going to put the finger there because that's really bad, but imagine you can find someone who does exactly what you say, or someone who says, "Wait, hold on. This is exactly what I need." That is what you need. You do not need, when you think of repeat buyers or no repeat buyers, select your audience. Select the people who you need to represent you, because podcasting is not giving every single person an opportunity because you think that they have a story to tell. If you're going to become a podcaster who wants to make money, be selective.
Absolutely.
Someone
If
tells you a
you,
story.
yeah, if you when you're serving everybody, you're not serving anybody really.
It is genuinely, Cyrus, it's quantity over quality. For example,
Yeah.
you say to me, well, you've only had this many episodes this week. And I'm like, well, I'm being selective. Do you know how many messages I get on TikTok, on Instagram? You should see my TikTok. It floods. It's like, oh, I sell in TikTok shop. Can I come and show you the camera? I'm like, nah, that's not my business. Or they come to me and say to me, oh, I have a foot cream, or I have a hair, whatever it is, or like a lightening skin cream. Okay, good. But why do you need to message me on TikTok? I've already put the website
Mm.
www.whisperboy.com. You can see the prices. There is no need for me to come and say to you, oh, so what is it exactly you want? I've already shown you what you want. Don't come and bother me. LinkedIn, like I go on LinkedIn, Cyrus. I told you this before because I know like we've got like a second. Um, on LinkedIn, there are so many people who approach me and say, hello, ma'am. Hello, madam. I do this. I make podcasts grow. And I'm like looking at their statistics and thinking, in 2 weeks, I've done way more than that. But no,
Yeah.
Cyrus, your turn because we're nearly
Yeah.
done.
So when they you just raised a really good point, right? When people approach you on Facebook or on LinkedIn and they
TikTok,
say,
please.
"I can," TikTok as well. When they say, "I can help your podcast grow," right? What is wrong with that statement? You know what's really wrong with that statement is your job is to help podcasts grow, right? If so if someone approaches you and tells you, "Let me help your podcast grow," that means they haven't studied you enough to approach you. They have sent they just go through the motions. They just send messages to everybody and just mindlessly approaching customers. Guys, if you're watching this right now, you just saw what happens when you approach customers without understanding their needs. Okay, you wouldn't go to someone like Zara Camp and say, let me help you do what you're exactly doing. Yes, it is possible to allow them to do what you are doing, Zara. That is called what's the word? Is it subcontracting? So you can subcontract, right? And allow them to be a part of your business and get paid for what you do. But approaching them like that and sending them a message the length of my arm and say, let me sell this item to you. No, people hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. People love to buy, but they hate to be sold to. Okay, so that's really strange human behavior, but it is what it is. Okay, so you learn the game, you learn the rules, you play the game, right? Why is it like that? I don't know. I don't have the time to expand on it right now. And the main thing is to serve you guys right now with these 10 reasons. So we are focusing on what the task at hand, right? So number 10. Number 10, that's the last reason of 10 reasons sales are low and how a podcast can help you resolve that problem. Weak differentiation. If you sound like everybody else, sales suffer. That means you're just another face in the crowd. That's it. Podcasts let you showcase unique value and personality so you stand out. Okay. So, Zara, what you got on this one?
You
differentiation.
know how I approach people? Let me do my best Arabic
Which
accent, right? The best.
go on then.
Wait, let me try it. It is this. It's like I've sent voice messages like this. Wait, I have to get
Yeah.
into the mood of because my brain is running in Spanish. I tend to say, why you have problem with what I ask for cost? You have problem with how many camels in your market? And they're like, oh, wow, this person has a brain. I'm asking about how many camels they have in the market, not how much money they have in their pocket. Because you know a camel, Cyrus? Do you know how much a camel costs? This is Arabs. Arabs do not tell you this. One camel is 3 grand. 3 grand for a camel. So when you come to weak differentiation, if you
But
sound
can you
like
hear us?
everyone else, they'll suffer. No. You come to people, what you say to a Spanish person, like what did I say to a Spanish person a couple of days ago? I said to him, tú tienes boca, ¿por qué tú no hablas? Tú tienes bastante cosas, puedo decirla. And he's like, tú tienes una razón, Sarita. I'm like, Sarita is pequeñita. Soy muy grande. You know, it's interesting.
Translation.
Oh, in what language? The first one or the second one? The second one. The Spanish
English,
one.
please.
Okay. The
Yeah.
second one is Zara, you've come to me with something. Why do you think you're so big? I say, because I am. I am big. Do you think I'm small enough to come to you if you were not as big as me? That's what it is. That is
You
PQ
have the right.
marketing.
You have the right. Yeah, absolutely. You have the right attitude for marketing, because if your customer feels that you're not confident in what you're selling and you don't know enough about it, they won't buy it. I promise you. Let me show what Zara did this week. This is a really good example about that.
Can we see your face because you're frozen? Yeah, we
Is that
can
okay
see you
now?
on that one, but not on that one. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to show you one of
Are
my
you going to
favorite videos.
what
Yeah, yeah,
video
yeah.
are you going to show?
So that's the showcase. That's the showcase video.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, or you can play that one. That's fine. I got told off for Christian Cross today. I want to buy a garment and I'm interested in, in something, but I don't know exactly what. So I go to the precinct or I go to the shopping center and I see this display in this window, right? Now, I see this display and it looks really, really beautiful. It's presented, it's right at the front. I can see it. It's beautiful. It's going to be perfect for me. And instead of going to rummage around the back of the store, I pick it up and I take it and I wear it, and people compliment me on it. And they say to me, so where did you get this from? And you start to tell them about the place that you got it. Now, think of it this way. When you are your own brand, you are that garment, right? You are that garment. And myself and Cyrus will bring you in front of many so they see the garment you have within.
Fantastic.
Oh,
That was brilliant. I loved it.
the Cyrus is so amazing. I've got 4 of them now. Do you know what that reminds
Yeah.
me of at university, Cyrus? Where, yeah, we're not going to go into university times. But no, it
Okay.
is
Fair enough.
literally that. Cyrus is literally that. Like, do you know today, Cyrus, when I can see your face, because all I can see is like you like hiding behind Tinto Virano, Vino Toreno,
Pino
vámonos,
Torino. Yeah.
hablamos. Yo no puedo mirar tú. Tú tienes
You know,
como una
people people ask me what her name is and who she is.
uh that's Cyrus's wife.
She's
No,
created with AI. No, she's AI. I generated her with AI.
Do you know what's
So,
really weird? I have the exact same necklace and the exact same earrings. I just think, and the same glasses. Yeah.
oh no,
Yeah, it's
really?
really weird. Yeah. It's so weird when you start to, for example, when you sent me the thing through AI today.
Mm,
Do you remember I told you that I put the subtitles
yeah,
underneath the last post that I had when I interviewed Fontaine today? Cyrus, you're stuck. So let me tell you guys, I put the subtitles in AI, right? And AI recognizes my voice. So it put Cyrus as Sarah when Fontaine said it, but it put him as Cyrus when I said it. Now, AI has the ability to recognize your voice. The more input you use, the more output you get, the more input you put back in. But, pardon me, so Cyrus, there are, oh yeah, Allah, alhamdulillah, there are a lot of people. Sorry, guys, I burped. I have to apologize because that's part of my culture. But, like, imagine Cyrus, you can put anything into AI, but it fixes it depending on you, but not upon the other person. That's why context is very important. And Cyrus ran off and left me by myself. We're not doing this, Cyrus. I'm not doing this by myself. I've drank all my tea. I need to run away soon. So, guys, if you have any comments or anything you want to say, if there's anything you want from me, please connect with me. I can't see you on LinkedIn. Like this video, go on to YouTube, see the Adobe audition, because I guarantee you later on, when you hear the podcast that I did very recently of Fontaine, you'll hear how Adobe Audition fixes it because I have a fan in the background. And Cyrus has run off. Cyrus has run off. Shall I drop off or shall I? Oh, look, I've been added to the stream again. See what?